Let's check out the chart action for Bitcoin. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at on the Bitcoin chart. So we had resistance right here, resistance right here. This is the main thing I've been watching, is that downtrend right there. We actually broke that uptrend, downtrend going to the upside right there. We also had support right here and support right here. I was watching this falling wedge, something like that. In a falling wedge, we'll target the previous resistance levels. This one was the first target, and then this one is the second target. First one is sitting at around 48,300, 48,400, somewhere around there. The second one is around 52,700. As you can see, we came up and hit our first target. It looks like we're actually breaking through out of this area right now. So I'm thinking maybe we can start targeting this next previous resistance sitting around 52,700. What I really want to see us do is set a higher high. So we had a big uptrend on Bitcoin, and then we broke that uptrend to the downside. After that, I set up this Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top, and they gave me these levels to watch, the 38% level and the 50% level. We got bounces on those pretty much, and this held support very well. What I'm trying to say is I really want to break out of this Fibonacci box right here so we can set a higher high. Let's do an update on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. We had a triangle pattern, something like this. We broke that to the downside. Ever since we broke that to the downside, that's basically altcoin season. So yeah, we had this. I'm on the weekly time frame right now, so it's a pretty big time frame. We had this previous bottom, something like this. I drew an orange line on this bottom right here, and then an orange line on this bottom right here. So I was waiting, I was kind of watching as we fell down to see when we hit these levels over here, on these levels over here, if we could get some bounces possibly, and maybe Bitcoin can start bouncing back to the upside and start taking back over. So that's pretty much what I'm watching, and it looks like we're kind of approaching that first one right now again. Well, we did pretty much. We hit it once, we got a bounce up, and then we came back down and we hit it again pretty much. We didn't hit it perfectly, but we came up right around that area. So what we could go do now is we're going to the daily time frame, and let's look just basically for a basic trend. So that's basically what I wanted to show you. We had this downtrend, something like this. We broke that to the upside a little bit. We're actually kind of going a little more sideways. This trend actually looks like it's still kind of going down a little bit, but maybe we could do another trend, maybe something like this. So we have our bottom. Let me zoom in a little bit. We have our support, and that gives us this bottom trend line, something like that. And then we have this top resistance. So that gives us that top like that. We're basically bouncing in between these two lines right there. I think if we could break to the upside or to the downside, we'll see a big move, and we can kind of look for that. If we could break to the upside, we can maybe target from the top to the bottom of this wedge pattern, something like that, and drag that to the breakout. Maybe look for something like that. That's around this previous resistance level, something like that. So yeah, let's see. We didn't come down and hit the bottom one, so we're still in a big downtrend, so we're gonna have to wait and see on this to see if we actually can break to the upside or to the downside. But it does look like we are in a little pattern right now, waiting for a breakout. Alright, so let's jump over to the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. Basically, if this chart is heading down, it's good for Bitcoin, and if this chart is heading up, it's good for Ethereum. And as you can see, we have this big uptrend right here, but we kind of broke through right here, and it looks like we're kind of just going sideways. I kind of just wanted to give you guys an update how it is kind of trending down. We do have this resistance right here and resistance right here, and this kind of looks like a falling wedge pattern, and it kind of looks like we broke to the downside, but it's possible that we break through back to the upside and this was just a fake out. It does look like it's still holding support. So I'm just kind of curious, if this chart is going up, we're going to be watching Ethereum more than Bitcoin, and if it's going down, then we're going to be watching Bitcoin. But like I said, it looks like it's kind of going sideways, so they might just be kind of trading pretty evenly. We are still under that big uptrend that we've been watching, and we're also testing this trend line right here pretty much. Let me readjust it, something like this. I mean, we might have broke through it right there, but we're getting that red candle, so I would kind of say something like that. We're still in a downtrend. I think in the smaller time frame, I think Ethereum is in a downtrend compared to Bitcoin on the smaller time frame for right now. So right now we're still looking at Bitcoin. I think it's going down. We're looking at Bitcoin pretty much. However, I think once we break this trend line going to the upside, then that's when we'll want to start looking at Ethereum again, and it might get a pop pretty hard to try to get back up into this trend line. That's what I'm just kind of thinking. But yeah, that's what I'll be kind of watching, or that's what I'm kind of looking at on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. I think this is a good chart to look at if you're watching Ethereum, if you don't know which one to buy, whether to buy Ethereum or Bitcoin. Okay, so if we jump over to the Ethereum chart, here's what I'm looking at, and this was from my thumbnail that I made in the last video. Pretty much my first target was right here at this W pattern, or actually it was a channel pattern. It actually turned into a pattern, channel pattern. It was a W right there, got rejected, turned into a channel pattern. Basically target from the top to the bottom of there, and then we got this target up here at around 35.40, and it looks like we're getting really close to that. We're at 34.76 now. We haven't hit this target yet, but we're coming up for it, it looks like. So yeah, let's see if we can hit this target next, and then after, if we could break through this area like we've been talking about, we want to come up and try to retest this area. If we zoom out a little bit more, we have this top right here and this top right here giving us this downtrend, something like this, and we're going to want to watch out for this area right here, this area right here, for resistance as well. Let me delete some of this stuff. If we head over the daily time frame, you can see we had this resistance. We were watching this downtrend right here. We got a break to the upside right there, and we were also watching the 9 moving average too. We broke above that 9 moving average, got some nice green candles. I really like watching this 9 moving average for breakouts, like we broke out right here to the upside. And so what I look for now is I want to see us bounce and get support on that 9 moving average, as opposed to getting resistance below it. That's why I always like to say it's better to be above it than below it. And right now, if we can keep getting support on it, we might be moving more to the upside. Let's say we get some good support on it, like we got some support right here. We'll be watching for a break to the downside, and sometimes it goes sideways, or sometimes we get a big break and it stays going down and it causes some big resistance. So it's basically just a signal. Sometimes it's sometimes it's an okay signal, we go sideways, and sometimes it's like a bigger signal and we go down a little bit more. So yeah, it's just another signal to watch and something that I look for. So I'll be watching this 9 moving average. If we come up, start getting support on it, keep getting support, go kind of sideways, and then get some more support going up to the upside. Basically, I'll be watching for when it breaks to the downside. That'll be one signal. That'll be kind of a bearish signal, in my opinion, or at least a signal for a correction. So let's see if we could keep this momentum going to the upside. Right now, I'll probably be watching a 4-hour time frame, something like this, and we could do an uptrend, maybe something like that. So until we break this uptrend going to the downside, I'm on the 4-hour time frame, so it's better if you could do it like on a daily time frame, but I don't think it's formed quite yet. So let's watch the 4-hour time frame. That's what I'll be doing, and let's see if it breaks sideways or if it breaks down. That could be like the first kind of signal of what like a sign for a reversal, pretty much. Okay, so if we jump over the total crypto market cap, here is what I am looking at. We've been looking at the resistance levels, pretty much. There's resistance right there and resistance right there, giving us a downtrend, something like that. I've been saying we want to break that downtrend going to the upside, or we're going to be looking for that. We broke that going to the upside right there. What I'm doing now is targeting previous resistance, just like the Ethereum and Bitcoin charts, and we also broke the 9 moving average right here on this chart as well, so that looks good right there. So what I'm looking at right now is we have resistance right here and resistance right here, kind of just like on Ethereum. We're looking at this downtrend right there, and we might be looking at some resistance when we come up to this level at around 2.36 trillion. If we go over the 4-hour time frame, we have an uptrend similar, something like this. We have support right here and support right here, giving us this uptrend. Until we break this uptrend going to the downside, I'm going to assume that we're in an uptrend and that we're heading towards the previous resistance levels, pretty much. If we break this uptrend going to the downside, that could be a signal for a reversal. Sometimes though, it just breaks and we go a little bit sideways and then we start heading back up though, so you have to be kind of careful about that. That's why I like watching the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame, and even I like to turn it up to the weekly time frame, but I don't really care for the 1 hour too much, because sometimes the 1 hour will fake you out pretty good. At least it fakes me out pretty good. So in general, I think on the total crypto market cap, it's looking pretty decent. Let's see how long we can keep this upwards momentum going, and if we could hit some of our bullish targets on some of our other coins as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys haven't checked out some of my other accounts like Twitter and Facebook, some of the links are below. You guys go check those out. One of those links is my new YouTube channel. It's called Chart Action Shorts. It's basically vertical short format videos. So these videos are best viewed on a mobile or tablet device. Sometimes I try to make them loop, and they just make more sense if they can loop on your phone or tablet. So go check it out. Go subscribe here. It's going to be another cool way to get updates and price predictions and price speculations and stuff like that. If you weren't one of my first 100 subscribers on my main channel, you have the chance to become one of my first 100 subscribers on this channel. Send me a screenshot of my subscriber count after you subscribe on Twitter, and I'll give you a retweet. Then there'll be record of it on Twitter. Alright, if you guys like this video though, make sure to hit that thumbs up button.